You're a longtime veteran media guy. You voted in many a media poll,
yes,
right?
Yes.
What do you make of the Big 12 ditching the media poll?
Smart,
right? Very smart, isn't it?
Smart. It gets, and I wrote a column about this the other day. The Big 12 ditching the media poll is exactly the same thing as the Big 10 trying to get 13 AQs out of 16 teams. It's because nobody trusts the committee.
Yeah.
It's all nobody trusting the committee, just manifesting in a different way. The Big 12, understandably, doesn't trust the committee because the committee hears last year, ASU's picked last, and they won it. Well, how good could the Big 12 be?
Right.
And they're influenced by that and not by what actually happens on the field. And, I mean, the SEC, the Big 12, and the Big 10 all have good reason to not trust the committee. But that's what it gets down to. This whole thing is about committee trust, and there's so many levels to it because it would impact the outcome's going to impact playing. It's going to the format of the CFP,
right.
The play-in games on conference championship, the crossover series between the Big 10 and the SEC, which could have a lot of impact on the Big 12 schedules, right?
Sure.
I mean, if all of a sudden SEC teams are playing Big 10 teams, they're going to start canceling their games against the ACC and Big 12.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a ripple effect. All of it based on not trusting the committee.
Well, and back to that point, one of the things that I like about standing for 5+11 is the second that it goes 4-4-2-2, SEC will go to 9 conference games, and then they're going to have the scheduling agreement with the Big 10, right? So how, as a Big 12 school or an ACC school, do you ever schedule anybody from the SEC or Big 10 again?
You're not. Well, I mean, there'll be certain instances like, Iowa State will play Iowa.
You're right.
You know, South Carolina and Clemson will play. But it's going to be hard, really hard. And then you look at non-conference games are expensive. Group of 5, they're they're jacking up the price. We saw Ohio State's paying somebody, Navy, $2 million. You know, it's really cost prohibitive for ACC and Big 12 schools to exist in that world. If the home and homes with the Big 10 and SEC dry up, which is why, if I'm the Big 12 and that happens, I would think about playing 10 conference games.
Yeah. I actually love that idea. I love that idea, especially if you're going to push this idea that, hey, we've got parity, we've got really exciting conference games.
That's a quality win that will help you. In theory, the new CFP, right, is going to have a much more of an emphasis on strength of schedule. So if that extra game for the Big 12 is a conference game, you don't have to pay. It's a quality game for your SOS. And, you know, it's better than playing an FCS or a group of 5 in a lot of ways.
The strength of schedule thing, the SEC, it was for 1 year, they just didn't get this overly preferential treatment, right? I mean, it still seems to me like Alabama and Ole Miss got a lot of love for their strength of schedule to even be in consideration last year, right? And that's what their whole issue has been with pushing this.
That's part of it. But they're all looking at Indiana. And how is Indiana ranked that high? Playing who they played. They didn't beat a single team ranked in the top 25. They played one and got beat by multiple touchdowns, Ohio State, right? And they canceled a series against Louisville to play Western Illinois or whatever it was and won that game 77-3. And I think that has infuriated, and this is just my opinion. I don't want to say I've heard it from a source in the SEC. My opinion is that infuriated the SEC.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. If you're Georgia and you're playing Alabama on the road, Texas on the road, Ole Miss on the road, and you see Indiana's schedule and they're ranked where they're ranked, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. There's a whole nother question there. Did the SEC do Georgia dirty like Kirby Smart thinks they did? Yeah, Kirby Smart would say so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother discussion. But I think if I were going to take, my best guess is that Indiana is really the issue.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good theory.
I've got a whole conspiracy theory on that, which is Michigan's refusal to recruit a quarterback set this whole thing in motion because they sucked, right? Early in the season, they sucked, which meant what? That meant that Ward Manuel, who's their AD, as chair of the committee, doesn't have to recuse himself. Michigan's not in the playoff discussion. He doesn't have to recuse himself when Big Ten teams are being discussed.
Oh.
And we know that the selection committee chair has a big influence on any committee he's on, right? Manuel's able to be in the room for the discussions on the Big Ten teams. He's talking about how good the Big Ten is, how good those teams are, and that influences where the Big Ten teams are ranked in the final standings, pisses off the SEC, and here we are.
That's good stuff right there.
That's my conspiracy theory. Man. It all started with Michigan's failure to recruit a quarterback.
You gotta fire up a YouTube channel.
I'll leave that to you.
Well, real quick, what do you think about the ACC? So Matt Baker, I know from The Athletic, pulled the whole 68-page document that's in the settlement, right? And the thing that is getting a lot of run here is that they have basically a Super League clause, right? You can leave.
Yes.
If you're joining one sport, you can keep everybody else in the ACC. And so for one, I mean, it really looks like Florida State and Clemson came out like gangbusters here, about as well as they possibly could.
Yes, they did.
Do you take that as like, hey, they are anticipating legitimately Super League, or is this, hey, just appeasing Florida State and Clemson as much as
it's appeasing, and I think it's Florida State and Clemson saying it. The 5% chance that there's a Super League in the next 3 or 4 years, we can get out. I just don't see how all these contracts are going to get broken, right?
Yeah.
Big 10 locked up till 2030. Big 12, 2032. SEC, 2034. March Madness and CFP, 2032, right? How are they going to end those contracts 5-6 years early? I just don't think that's going to happen. To me, the Super League is, and I even put the doomsday clock for college football at July 1st of, I think I had 2033.
Okay.
I might have said 2032. It's been a few months, but it's going to be in the middle of that range, I think, between when the Big Ten deal ends and the SEC deal ends. That will be when the thing ruptures, I think.
Yeah.
And they're just getting prepared for that. Who knows? If something comes early, they can get out early. They have to have 6. I believe it's 6 schools have to go together to a new entity in order for that exit fee to drop to, what is it, $75 million?
Yeah. All right, before I let you go, do you have, since we didn't do a media poll, do you have like a top 5 Big 12 media poll and John Wilner's official?
I did. I published something yesterday. It's been such a long day. I think I have Texas Tech, Utah, Iowa State, ASU, Kansas State, I think is my top 5.
Okay.
I want to say I'm going back and forth. I mean, that's the beauty of the Big 12, right?
Right.
I mean,
fool's errand to pick it.
Last year, I looked it up. Last year, the media poll was off by an average of 7.3 spots per team. That's a lot. That is a lot. And it makes, that's what the Big 12 is all about. And I think that's the beauty of it. And it makes the Big 12 different than the other 3 because there's no behemoth on top every year. So it's great. But it also means that there's challenges, and the Big 12 needs to respond to those challenges competitively. And it did. Getting rid of the poll was a smart move.
Yeah, agreed. John, appreciate it. Everybody go check out the Wilner Hotline. It's Wilner Hotline on Twitter, right?
Yep.
And then obviously all the work that you do online as well. Go read it. It's great stuff. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.